Alright, how you doing everybody? It's everybody in the affected community. I'm back with another video, and this time it's about the size of Mars. This has nothing to do with the polar ice cap that may or may not have been there before. Personally, I don't think there was one there before, but that's not what this video is about. So today, we got the size of Mars, and this first picture that you're seeing here is a comparison of Earth and Mars the way I remember it before the Mandela effect. Okay, so that picture, like I said, this isn't an accurate representation, it's just the way I remember it. Okay, now this next picture is the way it looks today, or the way everybody knows it right now, where Mars is something like half the size of Earth, or slightly bigger than half the size of the Earth, which I don't remember. So now the gravity's different than it used to be in my reality. I was always taught in school that when I was a kid that if we were to live on Mars, it would be approximately the same gravity and everything. It would be just like walking around on Earth, except, you know, it would look different, it would be different. But as far as gravity is concerned, I was always taught that it was about the same. You would weigh about the same, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. And this next picture here is apparently saying that the entire landmass of Earth right now could cover the entire mass of Mars right now. Now that's definitely a fact that did not exist in my old reality. Because when these two planets in my old reality were the same size, there was no way you could take the landmass off Earth, or the showing landmass that's not below water, and wrap it around Mars like you can now, apparently, according to this. So that's definitely something different. And again, here's a picture talking about the gravity and how you would weigh about 38 pounds on Mars if you weighed 100 on Earth, which again, in my old reality, that was never the way it was. If you weighed 300 pounds on Earth, you weighed about the same on Mars, give or take a few pounds. But it was never that drastic. It was never like that. Okay. And this picture you're looking at here now is a picture I pulled off the internet. I'll put a link down in the description. I can't remember where it came from right now. But don't pay attention to all the other stuff going on. What I'm mainly paying attention to is up in the top left-hand corner, where it shows the two little Earths going around the sun, and then you got the two Marses going around the sun. Now, I know that's not supposed to be an accurate depiction. I know they didn't do this to scale, maybe, necessarily. But you would think that most places that would do this would at least make Mars approximately the same size that it should be. But in this picture, they appear much to be like the way I remember it, where Mars was about the same size as Earth, just slightly smaller. So, that's just a good example of a visual representation, another visual representation of what I remember. Okay, and then this picture here with the tattoos. Before I get into all the rest of the pictures, the reason I found this one interesting, I can't remember where I found this. I just typed in stuff on Google Images. This is what came up on Google Images. A bunch of pictures. I'm about to show you more in a minute. But see, on the one arm, you can see, and all the planets go in order on both arms. You can see on the one arm that Mars is closer to the size of Earth on that tattoo. And then on the other one, the colored one, you can see that Mars is a little bit smaller and it's more accurate to the way it is today. So, I mean, do a Google search yourself. You'll come up with a bunch of just type in like solar system tattoos. That was one of the things I did. And you'll find a bunch of people that have Mars sized different shapes on different pictures. Some people have it more like the size of Earth. Some people have it half the size of Earth, which is the way it is today. And I don't know, and like this picture here, it looks like these planets are supposed to be to scale. Now keep in mind, not all of them are to scale. Not every single one of them. So there might be some pictures where Jupiter looks like the same size as Earth, and Earth looks like the same size as Pluto. And I guess those don't really count. I tried to find some of the best pictures I could find that portray the point I'm trying to make here. It's kind of hard to find residual. I mean, it was a little easier finding residual for this than it was for my Pantera video. But I think more people will be on board with this Mandela effect. I've already heard a few people on the internet talking about this. I know a lot of people talk about Venus, but I don't hear too much about Mars anymore. When I first discovered the Mandela, or when I first felt the Mandela effect, I should say, back in July 2016, I heard a few people talking about the size of Mars, and then after a few months it just stopped. I don't know what happened. But to me, Mars is still, I mean, to me nothing changed yet. It's still smaller than Earth. But I only heard people talking about that Mandela effect for about maybe 2 months after July, and then sometime in the summer they just kind of stopped talking about it. So I haven't heard anything about it, so I figured I'd make this video. See what you guys think. Yeah, let me know. I know there's a lot of you out there that remember Mars being about the size of Earth, and this has nothing to do with flat Earth. This has everything to do with what's in our textbooks and what we were taught when we were kids. It has nothing to do with whether the Earth is flat or not. The same concept would apply if the Earth was flat. It's just simply about what we were taught in the textbooks, whether that's real or not. I don't know. So, do with this as you will. I'm going to leave you with a bunch of pictures I found on the internet, just random pictures of people's homemade diagrams, people's, tattoos of solar systems, just, stuff like that. Some of them depict a bigger Mars, some of them depict a smaller Mars. So, I don't know, I think it's just kind of weird. And even Venus in some of these pictures, even though I'm not touching up on Venus very much, even Venus shrinks and grows in size apparently in some of these pictures. Some people have Venus being much smaller than Mars in some of these pictures I've seen out there. But I don't know. All I know is I remember Mars being much closer to Earth. Okay, so that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section, and I will talk to you guys later. I'll be coming out with more videos soon. Thanks for watching.